Alright guys, so welcome to my GMT 400 exhaust part 2. And you're probably wondering why I had to remove the whole fender on part 2 of doing my exhaust. And that's because I have a broken stud here, a broken stud here, and a few broken studs on the other side. We're gonna have to weld a nut to the stud and hopefully we can get it out, and this is the only way I'm gonna be able to do it. I tried with the fender on, I just did not have enough room to get a good weld on it, so hopefully this goes well. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the welding method is not working for this application. I could not get it. I've tried several times to weld the nut to the top of the shank, and I even got a professional welder to take a look at it, take a crack at it. He cannot get welds to stick to the shank as well. So I'm gonna try a different method where we drill it out and we use heli-coils. That's where you drill it out, tap it, and insert some coils. You know, in some cases with aluminum, that's actually even stronger than the original, and cast iron, I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely going to be better than what we have right now, so we're going to give that a shot. Alright, so here I am. I drilled it to the final hole size and I'm getting ready to tap it. So what I did was drill it with the smallest drill bit you got to get it centered, and then slowly start stepping up the drill bits, and it makes it easier. And the final drill bit size for the small block Chevy on the exhaust manifold size is because it's a 3/8 heli-coil we're putting in, it's a 25/64, and I had to get this a shorter bit as well, and a 90, so we could fit in here next to the steering shaft. Now you still need a 90. I wasn't able to get the steering shaft out because it would not collapse, and this is an original steering shaft. It's an upgrade. I'll show this in a upcoming steering upgrade video on this truck. But even with this out, since I was getting one of the back ones on the passenger side, sometimes when you're starting it, you gotta maneuver the drill a little bit to try to get it in the center. When you're first getting the first initial hole in there. So a 90-degree drill is a must-have for doing these exhaust studs, taking out the exhaust shanks with the engine still in the car. Here we got the hole drilled. It's the one to the left of the port, not the farthest left one, but as you can see, it's not fully centered, and that was from not getting the first drill fully centered. But we're just gonna send it. We're already here. Let's hope the heli-coil has enough to grab onto. So now we gotta cut the threads for the heli-coil. But before we do that and try cutting the threads, we have to clean it out, get all the shavings out of there with the Q-tip. So this is the tap that came with the kit, and the tap will tell you what drill bit size to drill the hole out to. And instead of a tap holder, I'm actually using a 10mm socket, which fits perfectly on the square end of the tap, because the limited space we got in the car. We're gonna oil this, and we're gonna go slow. Any resistance, you go back. Any resistance, you go back. And this is a really slow process, and we're gonna need to be cleaning out the shavings while we're cutting the threads, because if not we could break the tap, and that's even more of a nightmare because this is hardened tool steel. I hope you could see this all right, but there shouldn't be much resistance, and the beginning is the hardest part. You gotta make sure it's going in straight, and right as you feel any resistance, any real resistance, where every once in a while you want to back it out and clean the flutes, because we don't want this to get jammed in there. And if it gets jammed hard enough, it might snap. But pretty much, yeah, just take it nice, slow, easy, clean it, keep oiling it. Everything should go all right. So now that our hole's tapped, we're gonna thread the heli-coil on the installation tool, and we're gonna thread it in there, and once in there, this will focus, once in there we'll break off that bottom tab with a punch and then retrieve it out, and that should be your repaired threads. Use a punch. Oh, and it already came out. Let's test it out. So this is original threads. So this is original thread on the head. Threads right in. These are the ARP fasteners I got for my headers. And then let's try it on the heli-coil insert. Alright, so now that we got the nightmare of the broken studs out the way, we can get to putting a coating on these exhaust parts, because as you can see, there is a little bit of rust forming just from the little bit of water that has touched it from me running it for a week. And yeah, I know these welds aren't the prettiest, but hey, we all gotta practice and start somewhere. And yeah, they're definitely functional, they seal, and this system's definitely gonna flow better than the stock one. And my theory was right with the headers, with that temporary coating. It's better just to install them and run them for a week and let the paint burn off than struggling to wipe everything off, because it just literally flakes off. And literally just flakes off. Using for the exhaust system is, I'm gonna be using flame proof set and clear for the whole system, and then I'm gonna be using the primer and flat black for the headers. So pretty much what I'm using to get it ready for paint is grease and wax remover. So the satin paint seems to come out pretty good. The satin clear on it, and the piping's turned blue from the week that I drove it. And I did see a tip of somebody who put WD-40 on the piping and it makes it turn a goldish color. I threw Marvel Mystery Oil. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or just the type of steel it was made out of, but that looks pretty good to me. So this is the best time to change your spark plugs if you need to change them. And right here's the AC Delco Platinum, I believe, on the left. And these are the new NGK Iridiums I'm putting in. As you can tell, it's much shorter. I didn't have any clearance issues with the longer ones, but with these it's just gonna make it that much better. Alright, so the exhaust is complete, and as of filming this outro, it's been a couple months since I've finished the exhaust and been daily driving the truck, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy with it. It's held up well. I know it's only been like 2 months, but headers haven't leaked at all, especially with those ARP hardware. Haven't had any issues. I do gotta say, when I first started driving it, I was a little worried that I was a little too muffled. I was a little worried with my muffler and catalytic converter choice. I thought I was gonna be too quiet, but it just took a few weeks for that muffler to break in, and now the exhaust tone's just perfect. I like it. I'm happy with it. Zero drone on the highway. Quieter on the cab. I can actually listen to podcasts, or whoever's in the truck with me, I can actually have a conversation without yelling. Even with the windows down, it sounds really nice. But when you step on it, it's louder. And it sounds really nice for what it is, you know, because, I mean, it's a stock truck motor from 94 with the small cam. The small stock cam that comes with the truck. So, I mean, it's nothing special, but with this exhaust, it sounds pretty nice. It's rowdy when you get on it. And when just putting around through the neighborhood, I have no issue. You know, if 1500 RPM, you sounds like a normal truck. I'm happy with it. Completely happy with it. I was a little worried, as you guys can see in part one, if this would even work, because this is the cheapest welder Harbor Freight has. The Flux Core one, and it specifically says on there, don't weld stainless steel. And the cats are stainless steel, the muffler was stainless steel, the V bands are stainless steel. And also, I'm an amateur welder. This is the biggest project I've done. I've welded little things here and there, but hey, it came out good, and that's all I wanted to prove. I'm like, can you build a nice performance exhaust on a budget and do it yourself? Somebody who, even if you do got the money, it's fun to do, progress a skill you wanted to, you want to get better at welding. I think this is perfect. I didn't spend too much too much on the whole system, and you know, I have the pride of building it myself. And having somebody build me something like that would have been pretty pricey. And now I got a nice performing exhaust. Yeah, the welds don't look the best, but hey, we all got to start somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with everything so far. I mean, I can't tell you for sure if those cats that I got off eBay are gonna pass emissions. I mean, I'll know in a few months when I have to pass emissions, but it smells like it has cats on it, so I'm thinking it's working well. Overall, I'm happy with how the exhaust came out. Part one, it was kind of sucked because I had broken exhaust studs and I was figuring out how to do it, but it ended up well with the heli-coils. Haven't had any issues, and yeah, I'm happy with how it came out. And also, I bet you guys are wondering how much the whole project cost, and this is assuming you already had the tools, so not including the welder and welding helmet and brush and ratchets and wrenches and stuff like that. $603 with 56 cents. Yeah, right over $600. I think that's a pretty good price. I think that's kind of what you get, like a catback system, you know, dual exit for this kind of a truck. So I think that's a pretty good deal, especially with the fun I had with it. But anyways, thanks for joining me again, guys. You know, happy you guys spent your time with me watching this video, and I hope you guys got something out of it, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Please like, share, and subscribe.